Coming up towards the home turn, got away by a length and a half, always aloof around the outside. Iron Horses in the picture. Deprive followed by Magic of Sydney. Marble Horse blocked away on the inside as they straighten up. Might and Power is the leader. He's well clear. Might and Power got away 3 or 4 lengths in advance of Always Aloof and Ebony Grove coming down the outside. Then Iron Horse and Marble Horse from a long way back, but Might and Power well clear. 150 metres left to go. He's 6 lengths ahead. Marble Horse along the inside. Istadad in the clear. Doremus down the outside, finishing on strongly, but Might and Power has bolted in with the Caulfield Cup. He wins by 8 lengths. Doremus second. Good go for third. Catalan opening will mark him. They're followed by Istadad. Further back, Marble Horse, followed by Ebony Grove, and back in behind the Magnet Bay and Sweet Delight. Peep on the Sly, Always Aloof, Count Shivers. Well back in the field, Sky Bow, Iron Horse, Our Sumo, Deprive, Magic of Sydney, and Bonsai Pipeline has run last.
That was Might and Power winning the 1997 Caulfield Cup. That's goosebump stuff there, Beaver.
I love it. My favourite horse too, Dave. I love him.
Yeah, there was. You always got one that you just makes you fall in love with racing, I think.
Yeah, Might and Power was mine.
Yeah,
loved Might and Power.
I think So You Think was mine, but there's always one that just sort of gets you. 23 years. Wow, feel old.
Beautiful.
Anyway, what a day of racing we're going to talk about this week, though.
Yeah, it's exciting.
20 races to talk about. Everest Day, $15 million Everest, only 4 years in. I guess they've done a tremendous job with the marketing, because it's all my mates talk about that don't really follow racing, I guess, that week in, week out. They're all up for Everest week. So credit to Racing New South Wales. For me, I guess the nostalgic in me still thinks the Caulfield Cup's the big race tomorrow.
Yeah, me too.
So plenty to talk about. We won't spend, given we've got 20 races, we won't spend too much time waffling. Very quick thought on Wednesday, though. Anything you can take away from that?
Yeah, as I think I mentioned before we come on there, Dougie Anders was just disappointing. Just plotted. I don't know if it was. I kind of wanted to think it was the inside, but didn't seem to worry some other horses, and just it was a bit flat.
I think it was 2 great rides, though. They didn't. If that had, as I said to you, if that had happened in Sydney, they would have lined up and Jiggy jogged and Anders would have won.
Yeah. And
I thought it was very good that both jockeys decided they were going to take it on, and both made him work, and he just didn't hold up to the pressure, I suppose.
No, he wasn't. Maybe not as good as what everyone thinks he is.
So we could see a repeat of that tomorrow. I think Nature Strip's in the same. I tend to think Nature Strip's in the same basket where it needs a very soft early lead, and whether it does get that tomorrow, well, I guess that's what we're going to analyse in about 20 minutes' time. But for now, we'll kick off at Randwick.
Yep.
Where the rail is in the true. Good for there's supposed to be rain tonight, not too much tomorrow. Now the forecast was more ominous than it is. There hasn't been any overnight, more wind than rain. But apart from that, I'm treating it as it's been playing pretty fair. It's been playing fast actually, but pretty fair. By the end of the day, I think you can make ground. You probably don't want to be too far away, but I think best horses can overcome any track issues tomorrow.
Yep.
But other than that, let's get stuck in. I'm guessing, given we've got so much to talk about, you didn't really have a look at the first 2, or have you got any?
No, not interested in the first 2 at Randwick. Most of my punting will be done later in the day, sort of mid half of the day towards the end, I think, Dougie.
I'll just give a shout out. Carroll's got another horse, Leviathan owner Carroll's got a horse running around the first Akihiro with Portelli Yard. So good luck there, Carroll. Kathy O'Hara in the first. But we've got enough to talk about without the unraced 2-year-olds and the highway. So let's get into the third race, Star Mile over the 1600 metres. Who would have guessed after a Star Mile? You got any thoughts here in the third?
Yeah, I thought this was a pretty tricky affair and quite a difficult race to line up. Again, not probably a race that I've got too much interest in regards to having a bet. If I was forced to have a pick, I'd probably go for Purple Sector. I thought its first up run wasn't too bad. Lure Me In was good last start. Opacity I'm just willing to take on. And looks like Elvis probably hasn't put its best foot forward yet this prep. So really tough affair. Yeah, probably just watch this one go around.
I would have been keener on Looks Like Elvis, but I'm not backing Jessica Taylor on an Everest Day. There's a pretty good philosophy that big jocks for big days, and it stands up all the time. And Jessica Taylor's not one of them. Purple Sector was the best run to lead up, returned really well. That Batiga race, obviously Batiga came out last week and was ridden a little bit upside down, but was okay. It was passable, more than passable. And I think that's the better lead up than I don't want to do with the opacity race, which means your Matawis, opacity, and are all a pass for me. So I think around the $6.50. I'm going to make number 3 and race 3, number 9, Purple Sector, my first bet of the day. Interesting. I think Tim, just thinking back from 2002 a mile, he had a run well as well with Tim Clark leading this field up. But Purple Sector there for me. Race 4, the listed fillies race, the Reginald Allen, which sees a couple coming out of, I guess, A grade and a long tail, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%.
What do you reckon?
I think the top 4 in the market probably dominate the market here. So Forbidden Love, Joviality, Eliza Bill, and Only Mine, I think they stand out in front of the rest of the field, and potentially not a lot between them. Probably just for me, just a slight leaning towards Forbidden Love, purely on the basis that I really liked its first up win. It's been solid in its last 2 runs. Now finds itself stepping up into the 1400. Could get a pretty good run in this and be hard to beat. But yeah, certainly if you got a liking for the 2, 4, and 9, I certainly wouldn't want to turn you off.
Yeah, I was leaning the same. I'm with 2 and 1 in that order. I like Joviality out of that race. Probably didn't run a mile, I would say, but it was a very high pressure race. If it's held up, I think J-Mac going on to tick. The obvious is Forbidden Love through the same thing. Obviously, Wild Rural Form stood up last week.
Yeah, it's good.
They're the 2 obvious ones, and I'm scared of the 4 just because of all the trainers in Sydney, the ones that can bring the fillies to town off sort of Hawkesbury and Bush form is John Sargent. He tends to have a Derby chance around or an Oaks chance, I should say, around this time. Only Mine probably had all favours last start, but did win well. But yeah, they're the clear 4, and you've outlined that. So two from 1 there for me.
Yeah. Good. And 1 for me.
The $1.3 million Kosciuszko. I guess it if you watch Sky Racing, it's enough hype, but I suppose it's a good initiative. Cool. All right.
I thought you weren't finished.
No, it's a question. No, it's good. I'll ask about the race, but the premise of the race itself, $1 million bush race.
Look, I think it's a fantastic initiative to get some of these. I think the highway and leading into this is a great idea.
Yeah.
It gives some opportunity for some of the bush horses to come here. It's incentive, and obviously some of those make it into city horses moving forward, and into group horses as well. And I think we might even have one here.
There's a group horse here. It's no surprises here. I'm tipping the favourite. It's me. Has been the only chink is it hasn't been 1200 yet, but it won dominantly last start. I don't think it's going to matter. Yep. Jay Collett's flying. It can sit where it wants. It probably gets a really nice blending run about 5 lengths off from here, and we'll just swoop down the outside and win by a length, I think. Anything to add?
No, I think you've spot on there. I think it's drawn to perfection, and on the basis that Collett gets it into the right spot, I'll be winning pretty easy here. I think I think you're being fair with only a length. I think it'd be too good for that.
Yeah, I want to just give. I will forgive Newsreader the first up run, given it it should have led it to Caulfield. I thought it was ridden pretty poorly. Not Newsreader, the second favourite.
No,
front page, same thing.
Mate.
Oh, is it out?
Yeah, it's out.
Oh,
makes it
that makes it easier. What's it to me now? $1.70.
210 still.
That's a price.
Yeah,
I might take this Savo actually. I should check this.
Won't start that.
No way.
Yeah, it's only just come out.
Wow.
This morning.
Okay.
A couple of hours ago.
Oh, this is immoral. If you're getting 210 tomorrow, I'll be betting this afternoon, everyone. Because you're not going to. Well, if the deductions aren't already out, you're not going to cop them.
No, yeah.
No, nothing's going to come out of this race tomorrow.
Yep.
So, good bet at 210. I don't need to talk about anything else because that was the only other point I had.
Perfect.
The Sydney Stakes over the 1200 metres, a weight for age Group 3 is race 6, not starting the quaddy on a 10 race card. And while I update my notes here, interesting race for the traditional Everest repechage, I suppose. The other Everest horses. The top of the market's Deprive and Standout. Is that where you've headed?
Yeah, I have. I thought Deprive was really good first up, and should strip fitter for this. Yeah, if he can get anywhere back towards its top form, it'll be too good for these. And by all accounts of the first run, it was heading in that direction. Again, it's a bit of a skinny field, so I think Deprive just gets a run here and wins.
Yeah, top pick for me too. It's the lead-up run. Obviously, is the Everest form. It ran on well there. Standout, I don't think has really come up. I know Nash is on it now, but and did start short. I did start $15 compared to Deprive $26 in the lead-up. But both its runs have been pretty ordinary, I thought.
Yes.
For a sprue course, and Deprive's going to have last shot. Rachel King's riding the blue colour as well. And maybe the forgotten horse here, if it's still around $8, is Trumbull.
Yeah.
Trialled nicely. It did miss the start in the trial, which it was doing last prep, only half a length, but probably can't. If it jumps, it almost wins this race, and I think around $8 is a fair price. But
11.
Oh, good, yeah. That's backable. I think best result will be Deprived, but I'll be backing Trumbull each way in this race. And there's a long tail. The rest of this is just form I can't get excited about. Special Rewards going no good. Yeah, Tactical Advantage got beat up by Villambi the other week, and Prime counted out every possible chance.
Adalong's fallen off the perch.
And Adalong's off the perch. So yeah, how easy is bunting, eh?
Yeah, we'll see.
We're about to find out, because it is the main event in Sydney, the Everest, $15 million, 6.2 to the winner. Prize money all the way, $750,000 for running fifth. So bit to play for here. Lots to talk about, a few different angles here. As I said at the start, Nature Strip probably needs a quiet early start to be a chance here, but does have the two odds-on prices in the lead-ups. Started favourite in both of them. It will be its grand final. Do you want to have first crack at this?
Okay, why not? I'm going to go Behemoth.
Okay.
I followed him all preparation. I see no reason that Behemoth can't win this race. Look, it's drawn well again. It's going to sit just off the pace. Look, I think it's just super hard to beat. $9. I just think that's outstanding value. I just can't believe.
Gate 2's the only thing I'm worried about.
Really?
Only thing, because I don't want to get tucked away, 3 back the fence. Other than if it was drawn out.
I don't know that it'll get back that far.
Because
there's a fair few horses here that go back.
According to the Racing New South Wales, it's 4th offence.
So what have they got? Nature
Strip, Eduardo,
and
Dollar for Dollar, G-Tra, Horbury on her, 3 back.
Horbury on her. Yeah.
But if Nash is proactive, it is the right person to be proactive, to push up and take a spot there. Interestingly enough, Behemoth... I don't necessarily agree with that. The thing is, with the... Eduardo, I think, is an 1,100 metre horse. I think they might not be that keen to try and really bustle Nature Strip here, and he might get a softer time than you think here. I'm not going to tip it because I don't think he's going that good, but it's its best chance or prep. Interesting about Behemoth is 3 of these came through last year's Goodwood in Adelaide, which Trekking won, G-Tar ran 2nd, Santa and Lane ran 5th, and Behemoth ran 4th. G-Tar started $3 in that race, Trekking $10, Behemoth $13, Santa Ana $8. So the SP, I guess the market that day thought G-Tar was the best horse there, and it's probably the forgotten horse because it's had the one run and been put away since.
100%. Certainly the 2 that I like, Behemoth and G-Tar, they'll be the horses I'm looking to play on. I've ruled Nature Strip out. I just haven't liked the first 2 runs, and I just can't see it turning the tables on G-Tar, who's going to sit on its back again. And I just don't, over 1,200, I just can't see Nature Strip being able to hold it out. So I've actually been ballsy enough to put a line through Nature Strip. Classique Legends going well.
Classique's the one I started with because it's had the 2 best runs in the lead up. It was given no chance first up and won. It was given no chance second up and once Libertini went past, the margin was flattering because he sort of put it away and he knew the grand final was tomorrow. I think a softer run here probably the obvious starting point. I agree with you with Behemoth. I'm not jumping off it yet, and you'll get double figures because the Sydney market doesn't tend to really respect interstaters all that well, so they tend to spit them out a little bit. And I'm going to throw up here, just so I can put the graphic up so it look good when it does win. Horbury on her was absolutely slaughtered last start. Copped 3 bumps, stuck wide, pushed on, did all the work in the world. It's going to sit third the fence here, and with Abdullah on, and is a great knockout shot. You could probably keep talking. I'm not interested in the Dali horses, or the Dolphin horses. I'm not interested in Santa Ana Lane anymore. Eduardo, like I said, I think is 1100 metre horse.
I thought Tofane was a knockout.
Tafane's a knockout. Yeah,
I thought Tofane was a knockout.
It had the best run. Its win in the All Age Stakes was tremendous. There was a high pressure race behind Beaver Ado. When it beat Beaver Ado, I should say. They flew that day. If this can handle real pressure and will be and has had the 2 runs where it wasn't knocked around. It didn't. I didn't like its second up run, but then after you mentioned, I went back and watched it, and it was okay. The grand final was tomorrow, so they didn't want to do anything crazy.
It did not get a shot at them at any stage. And then had to switch, and when it switched, he just stoked it up a bit to the line. He didn't.
And Tommy Berry's actually the right rider.
Yeah.
When I think about this for the 1200 metre Randwick.
Yep.
He'll take off at the right time.
And I actually think the gate 11 suits Tofane.
Definitely,
in a race like this, because there'll be pace on. It'll be back towards the tail, but it'll be able to get to the outside.
Yeah.
And probably track home a horse like Libertini or something like that.
So, and we've got to ask Libertini. You're just saying that the tables are turned out of that race, or you?
Yeah. I think so.
Okay.
I think so. I think it just had some favours there first up, fresh. Not as convinced second up.
I agree. So, final summary, you're with Behemoth?
Yeah, Behemoth is my on-topper. G-Tra closely followed. I think those two will fight the finish out. And obviously Classic Legend and Tofane are also in the mix.
I'll, for the sake of numbers and giving, which we don't really do, but for these big races, we might throw a multiple out here and there. But I'll say Classic Legend for me is the starting point, as I said, from Behemoth, Horbury on her, and G-Tra. In the Everest, 8th race of the day, though, we fall off a cliff straight after that, though. I might be deep into the fridge by the time the 8th runs. 2,000 metre Craven Plate, Wait for Age, very uninspiring affair, which sees Navilis has been scratched for the Caulfield Cup, so Star is currently odds on. I couldn't touch that with your money, Beaver.
No.
So I am going to tip the quick backup horse Quintessa here. I thought she was pretty brave last week. Now gets a race she gets control of, more or less. And I think around the double figures, about $8.50. I'm keen to back that each way. So Quintessa for me. And then Natoya and Think It Over, the two that just get run straight behind. Both of them can run a place at big odds.
Yeah, this is super tough. This is, as you said, even money for Star of the Seas. I don't think it's ever started over this distance. So stepping up from 1,600 to 2,000, that's a big ask for a horse that's not yet convinced on. When it has run its best races, it's finished second. It looks to be racing a little bit weaker field here, but
doesn't matter.
It's sometimes hard to get keen about this. The problem is it's just really hard to find something to beat.
Oh, and I know, but we'll probably look dumb when it just sits there second and wins by 3 lengths. But how could I don't want $2? I don't even money to find that out.
No, that's me either. Varna Girl. First, there's 2 runs down here haven't been overly inspiring.
Needs to go back to Queensland.
Yeah, I think it might be a Queensland horse, but hey, you might prove us wrong tomorrow. You might be right with Quintessa. It might just get the run.
Josh Parr, tremendous on leaders. He's good as anyone in Sydney on leaders as well.
So yeah, hard to find anything else. I just don't know.
No, that's fine.
I just don't know.
Raise the bat. Good at it.
Raise the bat.
Shoulder arms, I should say.
That's it. Duck under that one.
And so we get if we're not as enthused by that, we get to the St. Ledger, which is a bit of a similar story. It's 2,600 metre race of the day. I will go with Pars of Glory here. I liked its run in a Metrop. It had no luck. Kathy had no luck on that. By the time it had to come right across hills and get out, it missed the front pack, but it flashed home nicely behind them. I think Keranon's a tick, and I think now it's had the run over the 2,500. That form's better than She's Ideal, and I mean, not a bad idea goes around every Wednesday as well. So This is a weak race, actually, the more I think about
It
it.
is a weak race.
Pars of Glory is one of the better bets today for me. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think, the analysis looks that way. Bremen Rocks is as old as you.
Yep.
She's ideal. One last start, probably shouldn't have, but it did. And quick backup.
The only reason it won is because the jockey.
Yes.
Yeah, Nash lifted it to 4-way go, and it's losing
Akana,
King.
and Akana couldn't get a run.
Yeah.
I think that Pars of Glory looks one of the better bets on the day as well, with Attorney probably being the main danger. Fresh enough, good run. It was a promising horse. Probably hasn't lived up to expectations, but who knows? One last start, maybe it's.
Oh, it was a nice run. It had to chase down the tearaway there and did quite well. I think that's second pick there as well.
So that'd be the one to watch.
Excellent. And to wrap up the day, 1400 metre benchmark 78.
Gets harder.
Does get harder. So I just took out the pen and just went.
No, thank you.
14 of these can't win and 2 can, and that's Best Stone and Dancing Gidget. 2 best lead ups coming out of. And that said, you could argue Best Stone only won because of Nash. He just took that race to Canterbury by the scruff of the neck, went bang across the lead and won. He may do that here in a race of non-chasers. I think definitely. Gate 12, he just goes bang.
He has to come across.
Right across, bang, and owns it. Exactly like he did last time. Only danger, and he's drawn 15, so you know that she's going back, is Dancing Gidget, who's out of the prime candidate race and had no luck. Before that, has had at least has had 2 city wins before that. Nimley's Flying, who she beat 2 starts back, and they're clearly the best 2 horses in this race, in my opinion, and they're the only 2 I'm going to put in the quaddie. What do you reckon?
I'll leave it to you.
Leave it to me.
I'll leave it to you, mate.
No, that's fine.
I think you're probably on the money there. I don't really have much else to add. There was nothing that jumped out to me. So, again, I'll only have a bet in this if I'm being stupid.
That's okay. Good chance of it. Yeah, that's right. You're allowed. Wouldn't be the first. And you're lucky you got a good influence around you like me. So that's
it.
Let's get to my quaddie. So I'm in charge of the Sydney quaddie for Everest Day. In the Everest itself, I am going to go wide. 1, 3, so Nature Strip does go in the quaddie. 1, 3, 5, 6, 10, 11, 12, 2, 7, 8 and 12, 2, 3, 5, 7 and 10. Home with just the 1 and 3. $50 gets you just under 18% there. What's your best big day tomorrow, Beaver? What's your best and your value?
My best bet of the day comes up in race 6, number 1, Deprive. Mm-hmm. And my value bet, no other than Behemoth.
Oh, very good.
In the Everest.
Been good to us. Been good to our spreadsheet. So I will make Purple Sector my best at $6.50, and my value will be Contessa around a $9 mark in the Craven Plate. Also really keen, the more I think about it, Pars of Glory. Even just saying that out loud, I'm pretty keen he's there to run well.
Perfect.
All right, we head down south to Caulfield Cup Day. Down to the rail in the true 3 straight days of racing, so I've got a feeling, and rain on the way, apparently there's supposed to be 10 mil tonight and some rain on the day tomorrow. If that does open up the track, they could be coming from anywhere. The fresher part will be the inside, but it did race 7 days ago, so I'm not really sure how much advantage that is. Could be outside fence if the rain really does come. So interesting, but credit to him. Jason Kerr, I think it is, does a tremendous job. Like, more often not that this track stands up to the carnival each and every year, as does I can only think of one Melbourne Cup Day where it's been biased at Flemington too. So they do a tremendous job to get these carnivals up.
Fantastic.
So how do you approach it? Are you thinking rain, or are you treating it fair for now?
I'm going to treat it fair for now, but probably look at some of those horses that can handle a little bit more softer going as well.
Yeah. So a 10 race card, again, a couple of uninspiring affairs to start off. Where was your first bet though? Yeah,
I was happy to skip the first. Didn't really take any fancy in the second. What about you?
The first. Yeah, I'd spent about 25 minutes and gave up. Second, I do want to pot the favourite in a second because it's starting now at $2.50 in town off a Kyneton benchmark 64 win. Like, I can't get excited about that. The one in the race, I'll back at double figures. I think it's Anitra coming out of. It's started double figures coming out of the Poland race at Flemington, which I think's produced a couple of winners since. Beat home Embolism.
Yep.
You're going to get double figures, which we won on Wednesday. And you're getting double figures, Michael Rod here in what I don't think is a very good race. So an each way play there on Anitra, race 2, number 4, probably be my first real bet down in Sydney, at Caulfield on Caulfield Cup Day. We get the equivalent for the boys in race 3, 1400 metres as well for the 3-year-olds. Any opinion?
Yeah, I do like Asamu. Is it Asamu?
Yep.
Yeah, the Sydney horse. Think its form in Sydney is enough to win a race like this, and the fact that they've taken it down there suggests to me that Waller thinks the same. Two fourths, last 2 runs in pretty good fields, probably better races than this, and I certainly think this is a really big chance.
You just have to back Sydney form any time it goes down. Like
right.
Even on Wednesday, I said the only thing I was scared of with Saracen Knight was Waller pulling something out, and there was Yonkers, who we know pretty well in Sydney.
Yeah. Doing
the job on them. So you've got to say Asamu is the obvious favourite based off that. I did like Endanger's run at Moonee Valley though. It was a bit unlucky. It was a weird run. It was flat for a long way, and then when it finally lengthened out, it ran straight up the backside of the 2 in front of it and probably should have won the race.
Yeah.
And I thought the horse you found at Ballarat, Miratoa, was a nice debut as well.
Yeah, I thought it was.
But Asamu's coming through, probably not A grade, but B grade in Sydney, and that's good enough for this, I think. Yeah,
it's tricky because those other horses haven't had a lot of starts.
Yeah.
But again, as you touched on, last start, Wild Rule was in a race, finished 4th to Wild Rule, last 2 starts.
Yeah.
And only 3 less than 2 lengths.
Yeah.
Wild Ruler would be fairly short price favourite in a race like this, I would have thought.
Yes, it would be.
So yeah, that's purely the reason I went for it in a race like this.
Cool. The Caulfield Classic is race 4 of 2,000 metres for the boys. Another Derby lead up here. Some of these getting out to the staying trip for the first time. In fact, most of them either coming out of the 1,800 metre lead up at Flemington or from the mile. Where are you going here?
Oh.
Too hard again.
This was really I found this really difficult purely because a lot of horses that haven't had many starts and they are stepping out in distance. Come up with 2 horses that I thought were the hardest 2 to beat. Redwood Shadow at around the $8 mark. I thought its second up win was pretty good. Hit the line quite well. Was forced a bit wide on the turn, but hit the line really hard, one going away from him. So I think that's a really good horse on the way up, and I'm willing to forgive Let's Crack a Deal's last start. The 2 starts before that were very good, and think that it's also...
it was a silly price. I just say it's out to $4, which is better, but it was $2.50 or something they put it up, and I just couldn't believe it. I know I had no luck, but it was... You can't say it might have finished close to the other 2.
Yes.
Which I'm going to go with that form though. The 2 that beat at home, I think, are good. Both each way prices and each way bets here. Chetswayo was very impressive, and Tour of Duty is still $16, and ran on well behind it. Mike Moroney knows what he's doing with the young stayers, so they're probably the 2 there. Any rain, I suppose you look towards the NZ suffixes, sorry. My English teachers will be unhappy with me there. And I like Redwood Shadows. I tipped it at Ballarat when it won well, and I agree with what you said. So my top pick is number 11, Tour of Duty, around the $12 mark from Chetswayo there.
Good.
And we've got the girls up next on the same course and distance. The Barrier boys have a good day tomorrow. They don't have to move the barriers 3 times.
Oh, that's nice.
Right, good seat in the tractor there. Interesting race though. I'll kick this one off and I'll tip Pensado. I thought it was a nice win. Controlled the pace, ran away from him. It was a pretty nice turn of foot at the end of 800 metres. 2,000 suits. I love gate 1 more so. I know I usually bag gate 1, but these 3-year-old fillies out to a distance, inside gates are gold. Go back to Set Square when she won the Oaks and those sort of horses. Gate 1 is invaluable there, and I think around the $6 mark. Silhouette's been over bet because of the sort of inside tucking up the inside in the Thermosphere race, but Pensado was very nice, and out of the same race, Star of Eden and Salto Angel both 20s, so they're overpriced as well. But for me, Pensado top pick for Willie Pike, who's found his feet there now.
I've gone the same way, hey.
Good.
I thought exactly the same. I thought it might get control here, and run them along, and hopefully can produce the same kick in the straight as it did last time. I think it'll certainly be in it for a long way, and then sort of the other 3 or 4 horses have been racing against each other as well.
Yeah.
So it's hard to line up those form. I did think the other main danger was Silhouette.
Yeah.
I thought it might just get the sit behind him, and a bit unsure as to, it didn't have a lot of luck last time, but along the fence. But yeah, I certainly think it's probably got a bit of improvement, and therefore I've made it the main danger.
Cool. So we're all Godolphin in the
Yep, gone the Godolphin there, mate.
girls. Race 6, the Alinghi gets a bit better now.
Yeah,
a bit more confidence now. The Alinghi Stakes for the listed race for the fillies and mares. Are you with the favourite here?
I am.
Yeah.
I really like Fatoussi in this. Look, it just wins.
I think unless it absolutely hammers down, this is a moral. Win. Yeah. I like Craig Weems on the horse. I like the draw. I think there's nothing here to beat bar California Zimbal, who Fatussi's a better horse.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, and I suppose you got to mention Pinion because it won last start. Do you need to say much more?
No, I really like Fatoussi.
Yep. Perfect. Let's not confuse anyone with that one. 1,000 metres might be a nice quick one to preview here as well. The Caulfield Sprint for Group 2 over the 1,000. You going to say the same thing about the favourite?
I am.
A bit nervous.
No, I am. I think 210s is a bit skinny. There's a couple of good horses here. Fabergino is a very good horse. Maybe it's a straight horse, but look, I'm willing to put a line through the run at Moonee Valley. I think I said to you, Moonee Valley was never going to suit Fabergino. It's not
started favourite that race too.
Yeah, it was never going to be a track that suited Fabergino. It's a big galloping.
Just got lost,
horse.
like wrong leg,
Just got
everything.
Lost, yeah. Just
and then spat out the back.
Yeah, that's right. So Fabergino for me is certainly at $5 it frightens me, and Garner is a horse that I have backed a fair amount of times. I thought his first up run, 5th, was good. Very disappointed when they took it to South Australia. I thought that was a pretty piss week, to be honest. Didn't like it, and therefore that's just probably meant that I've put a line through it here. But
it's interesting that it's 3 wins over 1,000. Just doesn't seem like a 1,000-metre horse. It looks quite long and lanky sort of thing, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's got a good finish on it. Yeah, so again, it might make a fool of me, but certainly Alpha Oro looks to be the horse to beat. It's going to probably get its own way here. Jungle Edge will probably lead.
Well, if it's heavy, wait till the money comes to Jungle Edge.
Yeah.
I think Alpha will still beat it, but they will smash Jungle Edge.
Yeah, that's right. And all of these horses, Fabergino's got to give Alpha Oro 4 kilos. So for me, Alpha Oro is a pretty good bet.
Yeah, I agree. Race 8 is the Moonga Stakes over the 1,400 metres. Group 3 for the 4-year-old plus horses, and I'm going to go with the backup horse here, Windstorm. Beat Buffalo River 2 starts back, who obviously came out and ran quite well in the Rupert Clark the other week, and the Toorak, whichever one it was, and then beat Face Toss, who we know quite well through the Sydney form lines. In short, I think the horse is flying. I like the quick backup. I like that Willie Pike's found his legs in Melbourne, as we've said, and really is the only horse with any sort of form right now in this race. Barring potentially Wild Planet down from Sydney. What about you, Beaver?
Yeah, I think you're spot on there, mate. I think Windstorm is flying at the moment. Again, it'll get a pretty good run. It's drawn, so it won't get caught up on the fence. It'll be able to produce its run down the middle of the track. It's got the 58 kilos, but it's all sort of the bigger weights here. And I think you're right, Wild Planet is potentially the knockout horse in this race, but Windstorm looks to be very hard to beat for me.
Yeah, set weights, it's only a kilo over the minimum, so no problems with that. The Group 1 Caulfield Cup, which over the 2,400 metres for $5 million this time, is the feature of the day down in Caulfield. Do you want to have the honours first?
Mate, you can.
Okay. Lucky me. I am going to tip the top weight. Anthony Van Dyke is a serious horse. It's the only Epsom Derby winner to come out to Australia. Beat Stradivarius last start, who is widely considered the best stayer in the world. Started $6.50 before that against Gayeth, who's the highest rated horse in the world. Second Breeders' Cup Turf, which is a serious race, and is essentially rated the 24th best horse in the world, this horse. Coolmore are very confident. They weren't too worried about the barrier draw. I maybe was a little bit. But he is probably good enough to be like Murder Glass last year and the Japanese horse a few years back and just be better than these. This is a quality horse, and this has already been... I was just looking on Betfair now. It's $8 at the moment. The market's spattered out. I think you're going to get a good each-way price here. And if it runs to its best, it will brain this field. So I'm pretty keen. I'm confident.
You are?
I was excited last night doing the form here. The only danger for me is a bad ride, firstly, or if it gets to heavy, Very Elegant is a serious wet track horse, like a world-class wet tracker. They're the only two, apart from that, the two out of the behind Very Elegant are the two roughies, Toffee Tongue and Finch is flying. But yeah, top weight's a good horse. So I am going to look down the camera and say number one will win. What about you?
Man, you made me very,
that's why I was going to go first.
You made me very nervous with your confidence there. Gate 21, first start in Australia. It's always interesting with the internationals. They do have a really, really good record in this race.
Yeah.
They seem to jump out of the ground.
I think I've backed every winner of the last 10 years bar Boom Time, and 8 of them were internationals because they just went, they're better than us. So it wasn't hard to do.
So for that reason, it's got to be super hard to beat, right? But Gate 21 just made me very nervous.
Yeah.
But that was certainly, and carrying 58.5 kilos, first start here. I just don't know. I'm just not sure at this point in time. Obviously, if it runs its very best, it probably wins a race like this. Given that, I've gone for Very Elegant on the basis that maybe there is a little bit of rain around. I thought last start was very good. 2 out of the 3 runs here have been pretty good. And look, I think really liked the step up in distance will even benefit even further. It's drawn well enough, I think, in 11. I don't see, it is racing against most of the horses it beat last time. I think it was going as well as all those on the line.
Better,
at that particular point in time. I think it's a very good horse. I think, again, it gets 3.5 kilos from the other horse. Whether that's enough, I don't know. I have gone for Very Elegant. Master of Wine was better last start. I thought it's been set obviously for this race.
That's the other one in that it's won gold in life for probably the last 18 months has been this race.
Yeah.
And the Hawks do it as good as anyone.
Yeah.
Grand finals.
So I thought that was a really, really, really impressive run last start and makes it a really strong chance. Toffee Tongue was good. And I thought Warning was very good last start as well. Whether Warning's being more set for the Melbourne Cup, don't know.
Potentially.
I
assume they're all going to run in both. Any thoughts on the other internationals? Did you really deep dive, or you?
I thought Buckhurst form was okay.
Yeah.
Certainly not without a chance. Prince of Arran, I couldn't get excited about.
We've seen that enough.
And
the ones down the bottom aren't as good as.
And I think
Dash Willoughby is okay. The Buckhurst and Dash Willoughby are okay, whatever that means, comparing them to the Australian horses. But no Japanese this year, no French or any of those sort of raiders. So.
Yeah, the last 3 runs for Prince of Arran haven't been.
No.
They just haven't been good enough for a race like this.
It's not the recipe either. You want the lightly raced 4-year-olds more than the. I know they run well. We obviously Red Cadeau and those sort of horses come back at American. They run well the second time round, but they're never they need to be striking by the iron side here.
Yep.
When they're a bit younger, I think.
Just horses down in the weight, you just can't. No, down in the market, I just can't get excited by any of those.
No. It's actually not that deep a race.
It's not a very deep race, which probably helps.
Because if you even just
Van Dyke,
you can go through and go. Villis is not going good. Vow and Declare's not with us. Mustard G hasn't been with us. Mirage Dancer did come out of winning. The Mirage Dancer probably goes in my quaddie. The rest,
Chosen One, Raheen House, Ocean X.
Yep.
You can't get really
No,
excited
the
about
rest don't
those. Chapata, I just don't see up to this level. Mirage Dancer was a good enough run last start.
yeah, no, that's it. It can run a place. It will go on my quaddie as will Master of Wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hard to line up, but there we go.
No, excellent. Sure, it's always a good spectacle, the Caulfield Cup. One of my favourite races, so looking forward to that. Before we finish up with the Tristark Stakes over the 1,400 metres, clash of some of the usual suspects here. How are you going to finish off the day?
I'm going to go for Pikey in the last Perfect Duel. Thought its run last start wasn't too bad. It's dropped back in distance, hit the line hard. Was certainly looking for this more ground. I think Perfect Duel presents as a reasonably good bet in this. In what I think a couple of horses are a bit skinny in the market. You know, Madame Rouge at $6. If it couldn't win last start,
No, it's dead.
it's
Dead to me anyway.
Yeah, that had every possible chance.
Yeah.
I just don't see why it's $6. Felicia, it'll run an honest race.
There's less pace here than last start, which is a tick for Felicia.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm with you.
Raisin's been okay, travelled well enough. Probably the top three in the market probably stand out here.
Yep. I'm with Perfect Duel as well. Any Rain is a tick as well. Loves the wet. Very good behind Mystic Journey. Bit unlucky, but ran on well here behind Sierra Sue. But I'm just thinking by this stage of the day, they're going to be right across the track fanning, and the wet track will come home. And I think that's why I'm going to finish day with Perfect Duel, clearly from Felicia.
Awesome.
All right, yeah. As we said, big days of racing. Do you want to do your best first, or do you want to do your interstate first? Do your best.
Quaddie.
Oh, and do that. Yeah, that was what I meant. Go your quaddie.
First leg, 2 and 6. Gone a little bit skinny there for you, mate. In
Who
the
have you thrown in? Profits? Oh, no. Wrong race.
Fabagino
Yeah.
and Alpha Oro.
Mm-hmm.
In the second leg, I've gone 1, 4, 7 and 9.
Mm-hmm.
In the third leg, I have gone 1, 7, 9, 11, 13 and 17.
Very good.
And to finish the day, I've gone 1, 3, 4.
Perfect. I didn't write any of that down, so I hope you know a percentage there.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, cool. All right, we're on time. We're on form here. I'm going to make it's about that, which could be a nice result. You get a split in there on one of those, and generally big pools. My best day is going to be Windstorm. Quite keen. I've actually tipped Pikey for 3 here, which is to back up his 4 last week. And my value is Pensado, race 5, number 6. What about yourself?
Funnily enough, my value is exactly the same. Pensato, race 5, number 6, and my best bet of the day is Alpha Oro.
Fantastic. You had a look up in Queensland for tomorrow?
I did. I had 2 for us, mate.
Perfect. Right.
Just a couple of sneaky ones. I'll tell you what they are right now. And they are... I'll tell you in a second.
Right. While you're doing that, over in Adelaide, race 4, number 6, Quietly Discreet, around $2.50 will win. Race 5, number 1, A Difference, around $2.25 will win as well. Short and sweet. What about you?
Yeah, I had race 5, number 10, Explosive Quality. And my other one was Wherever Clearance Sale is, and I can't find what race it's in now. Or has it been scratched?
Clearance Sale at Doomben, if it's still in, is the one you're after.
Race 2. Race 2, number 2.
Perfect. Race 2, number 2. Excellent. So check out Pro Group Racing. Plenty of news going on there. A few tips and tricks up there at the moment about the Melbourne Cup. and our show's there twice a week, every week. Melbourne Cup week, there might even be 3 of them. So follow us on Spotify, YouTube, and iTunes to get your audio or video needs, as well as leave us some feedback through our Facebook page and, of course, the Pro Group Racing Facebook page. Plenty of exciting stuff happening there in the future. Good luck this weekend, guys. Good luck, Beaver. Tremendous weekend ahead.
Tremendous weekend ahead, mate. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yep. So
where are you spending the day?
We might do the deck. I've got the kiddies. Can you do the deck?
Perfect. Sounds
Pop
good.
over.
I'll be over.
I'll let the Gump know.
Yeah, rip in.
We'll do that. We'll tee that up. Sounds good. You can bring lunch. All right. So catch everyone next Wednesday when we look back on this. Good punting, guys.